Okay, we have Martin Truex Jr. with us, driving the number 78 5-Hour Energy Bass Pro Shops Toyota. Martin will be starting from the P1 position in tomorrow's STP 500. Martin, if you can just talk about the importance of starting up front and getting that number one pit box as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Martinsville, it's definitely a big advantage to start out front. First pit box, obviously, I think everybody knows it's a big deal here. It's where you want to be. So you get that clean stall in and out, and hopefully not get tore up on pit road. So happy about that, and excited about the 5-Hour Bass Pro Camry, and guys put a heck of a setup in there for round 3 of qualifying, and here we are. I seen a few. You'd look like, what? Huh? What'd I miss?
We'll open up for questions for Martin. Please raise your hand, wait for the wireless mic, and start with your name and affiliation. We'll start up front here with Ryan.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. I remember years ago you had a top 10 finish, and the look on your face out on pit road was like how important this is. How important is it for you? Obviously, you do what you do on intermediate tracks, but to also capitalize at a place like this.
It's huge. I think, even earlier in my career, for whatever reason, this track in particular has been a tough one. And so, over the years, just trying to figure it out, the nuances of it, and trying to figure out that feel that you're looking for, because I think here more than anywhere we go, it doesn't change over time, but it changes throughout a weekend more than anywhere we go. So it's definitely a unique place, and we're definitely getting closer. I feel like, obviously ran really well here, really both races last year, but mostly in the fall we had a good run and ran consistently up front all day. So it'd be a huge one. Obviously, I want to win at any short track at this point in time, and we've been really good on the short tracks lately. But this one, still not quite where we want to be, and still feel like we're figuring it out. So hopefully this is the weekend. We had a good day of practice today, but the thing about here is you gotta be careful, because you can be fastest in practice all day long, and it doesn't matter. Come Sunday, it's going to be different. So hopefully we can make the right adjustments and have a good car in the race, especially in the second half of the race.
Jacob Seelman with Speed Sport. Martin, you mentioned that this is a place where things change so much over the course of 500 laps. How tough is that to manage as a driver over the course of a race like this, when the car changes, the track changes, and yet, you talk about traffic here. It's so congested and so easy to make a mistake.
Yeah, it's real difficult. I think, as any other short track, the better your car is, the easier it is to deal with, the happier you are generally, as long as somebody doesn't slam in the side of you too many times and piss you off. So it's really fun to race here. It's a lot of fun. It's a great racetrack, and beating and banging is awesome, as long as you're using the right side of your car and not getting the left side destroyed because you're slow. So you want to be on offense, you want to be fast, and like I said, so far this weekend we've done that, and hopefully we can continue it.
Right here.
You have your spotter, talked to him earlier about some things about what he does and does for you. Last week he got to say those words again, stage winner.
He lives life for that, just for that.
Tell me about him some and what he does for you.
Yeah, he's just he's a lot of fun to be around. He's a great guy. He really enjoys racing. He actually works for the team during the week as well. He runs the shop in North Carolina, so handles a lot of deliveries of parts and pieces and things like that, and takes care of taking things to the R&D center, and basically runs the East Coast furniture row operation. So great guy, great teammate, and spotting it's been interesting over the years with him. He's quite a character. He's a lot of fun to be around, and more than anything, I mean, he keeps it low stress. He enjoys what he's doing, and keeps, for the most part, pretty calm. And I'm pretty nice to him usually on the radio, but we do have fun, and it's been awesome to work with him.
What was it like to hear those words last week?
I'm pretty sure he was probably more excited about it than I was. And that's what you always look for in your spotter, those famous words of his, stage winner. So he got pretty into that last year, and he was definitely feeling lost going 4 or 5 races this year without saying it. So I definitely feel good that we could get him his first stage win of the year and have some fun with it.
Reed.
Reed Spencer, NASCAR Wire Service. Are you happy to win the pole with the rain out, or would you rather have had to try to win 3 official poles in a row?
I would have liked to try to get 3 in a row, no doubt about it. I think we would have had a shot at it. We've qualified well here in the past. I would say qualifying's probably been our strongest thing we've done on average here. So, yeah, I would have liked to try for sure, but, that's the way it goes. Can't change the weather. And I was actually really happy to get both practices in. I mean, earlier today it looked really bad, and I think even before after the first practice, before the second, we were kind of like, ooh, this doesn't look too good. So it was nice to get that time on the track and let everybody get their full, amount of practice in and hopefully get ready for Sunday.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. A couple questions. Last year, it certainly got rough at the end of the race.
What race are you talking
this
about?
one. This one.
Oh, okay.
This
I don't
fall
remember
race.
this one last year. I only remember the fall race.
The fall race, yes.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is that, I don't know if accepted, norm?
I don't
or
think
is
it's
that, is that what you almost have to anticipate, maybe is a better word?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on who's behind you, whether you anticipate it or not. I don't, if I was leading the race, I wouldn't anticipate getting dumped because, I've never done it to anyone. So I guess some of that comes into play, who you're racing, what would somebody do it to you back? I'm sure all those things come to mind. Yeah, so I guess for me, I wouldn't expect it, but, some guys might, and other guys probably figure if they get in that position, they're second, they're going to do whatever it takes, so there's a lot of different mindsets out there.
I also wanted to ask you, you got started running go-karts at what, like 10 or 11, I think.
11.
There are kids, I think I saw a story where there's a kid who's actually going to be running at Nashville Fairgrounds who's 13. There's a lot of guys who started running in late models at age 13. Obviously, times have changed from when you got started, but when you see or hear of people running late models or things like that at such an early age, does there need to be a limit, or is that's a case of, hey, look, 13-year-olds or 14-year-olds that go to college are celebrated. Why not a 13 or 14-year-old at a racetrack?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that anybody. I guess it's kind of a tough line to draw. I'm sure there's some kids that are ready for it. There's some that handle it well, and obviously we've seen kids 13, 14, 15 be successful at short track racing, late models, whatever, you name it. So I would say that there's nobody that should say you can't do it. I guess the hard part is what happens when somebody's thrown in there that really can't do it but thinks he can, or his parents think he can. I guess that's the tough spot you're in. But for me at 13, I would say I probably could have drove a full-size car. Obviously it was illegal. I wasn't allowed to in New Jersey. I had to be 18. So I lost quite a few years in racing because of that. Then I think I was mature enough and knew enough about racing I could have done it. So I guess it's more about the individual than it is it's a generalization.
Would it be worth moving if you had a kid that was 13 that felt like the race and couldn't race in that state?
If you could make it work, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be. I didn't have a chance, but yeah, I think it would be. To be honest with you, I mean, I can't imagine how much I could have learned from the time I was 14 till 18. You talk about 4 years of racing. That's a lot. A lot of races, lots to learn, a lot of divisions to get up through as well. So, yeah, it's crazy, man, how much has changed over the years.
All right. Thanks a lot for your time, Martin. Good luck
Sure,
tomorrow.
thanks.